Welcome back, and thanks for clicking play. So, this episode was a lot of fun. Brian, Andrew, and myself sat down with Jordan on speakerphone to discuss a few different topics. We talk about Deathstroke being confirmed for the DCEU, and then do a quick fan cast for him. We talk about No Man's Sky and the larger video game community as a whole. And finally, we break down some of our favorite parts from Netflix's Stranger Things, and look forward to the now confirmed Season 2. As always, we end the episode by asking who would win. Enjoy, because we certainly did. All right, we press play. We've got everybody go around the table. Introduce. I'm Robert.
I'm Brian.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Jordan. I'm phoning it in tonight.
He is literally phoning it in.
Jordan is coming to us live from the Upside Down.
It's very bright in here.
Keep hiding, Jordan. Keep hiding.
It's kind of scary here. It's dark. A little cold.
There's a lot of.
I think this is ash falling from the sky. I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's come. I think it's just come up in the air.
I'd say we should start playing the Clash, but we might get a strike against us on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so there's a couple things that we want to go through quickly. By the time you have heard this, the Deathstroke news will not be news, but stuff that you've heard a week ago. But that said, there was a video posted by Ben Affleck on his social medias that showed Deathstroke walking forward, giving a sexy evil eye to the camera. And that was it. So that was confirmation that Deathstroke is in a DC Extended Universe film. Most likely Justice League, as that's what they're filming right now.
And it was definitely just a single evil eye.
His only
eye.
So how does everybody feel about Deathstroke?
Now the question is, will he have both eyes, or is he only going to have one?
I sincerely hope he only has one eye.
Yeah, he should really only have the one, but they might do that. He'll lose it at some point during this movie or during the Batman. I don't know.
In the clip, he did have just the one. So
he had the mask that had
the one.
Yeah,
right.
the mask.
So that would make sense that he only had one.
Right.
You know.
And they're not just going to do
I'm
like
hoping for eye patch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we'll get FaceTime with him, I believe, for sure.
Have they announced the actor yet? Or we still
They
don't know
still
who?
have not.
They
No.
still have not. Okay.
So I think the leading front runner rumor wise is Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello.
If you just say it like an American, Manganiello.
Basinger.
Basinger. He was from True Blood.
True Blood.
And
Yeah, he was in True Blood.
The Magic Mike films.
And
Yes.
that's Sophia.
Yes.
Sofia Vergara's husband.
And,
Yep.
and he's a beefcake.
He's a sexy beefcake of a man.
Evidently. I don't know that term to use like that, but that's fine. I guess.
He's a beefcake.
God damn it! No, he's a huge dude though, at the very least.
Yeah, he's enormous.
I think he's perfect. Absolutely perfect for Deathstroke.
For sure.
I think he would be good. I've had time to think about the other guys who would be good, and I had to actually look online to see some suggestions.
Yeah.
And there are a couple guys like Clive Owen was something someone had suggested, and
Really?
even though Clive Owen I think is probably a little too above doing DC movies, he's a big dude. He could be good. Eric Dane, I'm not sure if you know who that is.
Yeah.
What was he?
Grey's Anatomy, and he's currently in The Last Ship on TNT.
Dr.
okay.
McSteamy.
God, I can't believe I know that. But yeah, he's a big dude too. Someone suggested Keanu Reeves, which would be a really interesting. Now that I've seen not only the Matrix movies, but now John Wick.
Okay.
If you've not seen John Wick, see John Wick. He kicks ass wholesale in it.
Awesome.
And could definitely do martial arts as well as gunplay.
Well,
I've seen the training video of him doing the shooting range, and it was pretty ridiculous.
Yes,
so,
that was an awesome training video. Yeah,
imagine Keanu Reeves as Deathstroke.
It could happen.
Deathstroke.
Oh, and the other one was
I'm gonna take you out, Batman.
Whoa! I'm on the Flying Fox. Whoa!
No.
Ouch, my eye.
Amanda Waller, you want me to go investigate the Justice League? No way.
Shit, that's amazing.
I hope it's Keanu Reeves now.
All right, let's do this. The other one that I saw that would actually, I think, be really good is Gerard Butler. I think Gerard Butler would be a really good Deathstroke.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I all the rumors point to Joe Manganiello.
My wife is in for any of those men that we mentioned. So.
That was a confirmation.
An ominous from the living room.
Jordan, what do you think? Jordan, what do you think about Joe Manganiello?
Manganese.
Manganiello.
Joe Vergara. He's progressive.
With it, honestly, I think he can pull off the physicality of the role. Definitely, he's a friggin' monster of a man. Because I love Manu Bennett from Arrow.
Oh, okay.
As plays Wilson. So it's gonna. I mean, I'm not totally against recasting because obviously they're going to, but there's part of me that wishes they would just go with him.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, I would love to see the DC. I as much as some other people don't, I actually like Grant Gustin as it's Grant Gustin, right? Gustin. Sorry, Grant Gustin as Flash and Stephen Amell as Green Arrow. I'd love to see them in the DCEU, but yeah,
well,
not going to happen.
In 11 years, when they get to Crisis on Infinite Earths, we'll get all of that.
That's for 2024.
Confirmed.
Yeah. You heard it here, folks.
Half-Life 3 has been confirmed.
We broke it.
Okay.
Well, we finally did something.
An oldie but a goodie.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that is a video game.
It is a video game.
Weird how that would come up as a transitional opportunity.
Well, whatever do you mean, Rob?
Well, there was a kerfuffle when a certain video game was released.
Would you say it's a much hyped video game?
I was hyped.
I was hyped as well. It
Brian,
beautiful.
Do you know what game we're speaking about?
Arkham Knight with Jason Todd.
That was last year's hype.
Oh, okay.
This year's hype.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler. Sorry, everybody.
No Man's Sky.
Yes, we'll call this time. We'll call it
No
Rants Sky.
So Jordan doesn't even know what No Man's Sky is.
All right. So
yeah, I've never even heard of it. I don't know.
Okay. So now about a month ago, a game called out. Oh my goodness! A game came out called No Man's Sky. Been in the works for obviously years. Been hyped for just about as much. It's a space exploration game. I wouldn't call it a sim because it's really not a simulator. I've been following its progress since it first got announced, and everything about it just struck the right chords with me. It just sometimes that happens, even you just see the style, you see what it wants to do, and it's just like, yeah, I'm there, even if it doesn't do anything more than what they're saying. And when it came out a month ago, there was a massive backlash. Not just on the internet, but just with people in general, gamers, that the game did not live up to the hype. And my whole thing with bringing this up is that I don't understand the problem that many people have had. There are obvious technical problems with it. It was kind of an unfinished game, and might not have met the price point of $60 that it came out with, but everything that it purported to do over the years of build-up that the creators Hello Games and then backed by Sony said it was going to do, it seemed to want to do. Like, even up until the last couple weeks before release, the launch trailer said, there are 4 things you're going to do: explore, you're going to trade, you can fight, and then you're going to be trying to survive. Those are the 4 tenets of the game. And as far as I know, those are the 4 tenets of the game. Like, that does not, that's not anything lost. Now, people have said that there are problems with little details here and there, and I can understand that maybe it's harder to find these huge dinosaur creatures that were in the trailer. It's harder to find desert planets that were in the trailer, and that's fair enough. But it's a procedurally generated universe, so I guess I don't understand. If people thought it was going to be like a scripted, you're going to go from this planet to this planet to this planet, and you're going to see everything that's in the trailers. I don't know where they got that idea.
They took open universe and expanded that into just open galaxy. I mean, they just went.
It's effectively infinite.
18 quintillion planets.
Yep. You spent 1 second.
Jesus.
You spent 1 second on each planet with no travel time. It's some crazy number, like 5,000 years to see all of them.
Right,
It's
right.
an insane number.
Right.
Yeah, and the E3 video that dropped, that was like one of the only things I saw about it, but I was sold off of that. He was on a planet and he was exploring and he was naming things that he was discovering, and then he got into his ship and he went into space, and they pull the camera back like 4 or 5 times to the point where all you see is a sky of stars. And he said every star that you see here is a solar system, and every one of those you can go to, and like you'll never see other people playing the game. Essentially, you could get entirely lost in that universe.
Except once in the beta, 2 people ran into each other.
Right, yeah. But effectively, no. It's not a multiplayer game, and it was never described as such. And that's another thing that people kind of pinged it on. I was like, "Yo, where are the other players?" Like, dude, it's technically yes, there are other people in this universe, but it is so huge that mathematically, there's almost no way you're going to run into anybody. It's basically a single player game.
And they did call it No Man's Sky, not All Man's Sky. So you're not going to find anybody.
I feel like you've been saving that one.
I had that one for a while.
Locked and loaded.
But yeah, I like. And then you said the thing about the price point, and
yeah,
I know that I don't feel necessarily against how they charge $60 for it, because it was like there's no DLC for the game.
No,
it's like it is a total thought that
right.
you received when you paid $60.
I would compare it to what they did when Halo 3 ODST came out. That was a full game, and that had multiple features and modes. Introduced Firefight with that, but it was a $40 game.
Right. Okay.
Because even though it was a full game, it wasn't another entry in Halo. And so I understand that that's part of a franchise and so forth. But I still think that with it being a not completely finished game, and then also with it not being on the level of, say, a Call of Duty, say a Halo, say a fighting game like Street Fighter or something. It's not
like a AAA title.
It's not.
Yeah,
it really
not.
isn't, and they treated it as such, which I think was a mistake. AAA title is exactly right, Jordan. Thank you. But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, Rob. Yeah, because the DLC. There's a huge problem in gaming with that.
Yeah, with the DLC stuff, you buy a game for $60, and then you have to buy a season pass or content later on that gives you more stuff or completes the game, and that costs you at least $30.
Battlefront.
Star Wars
Mortal
Battlefront, Mortal Kombat. I think even I don't know if Madden might even do DLC now, just because they just want to just dig more money out of you. So all told,
why not?
If you buy, say Mortal Kombat, we'll just use for instance, you buy that game for $60, you buy the season pass for $30 more, you're in for $90, and then you get most of the stuff that they release for the game, but they continue to release other things that you don't get for free that you'd have to pay for. So all told, you're over $100 for a game, and they just keep adding stuff, and you could just keep buying things. And then in 3 years, they'll drop a new one on you and do the same thing. Where with No Man's Sky, you got the whole thought for $60. So I still think it was a fair deal. Everybody's just butthurt for no reason.
Yeah. I think the biggest example outside of Battlefront is Fallout 4 that came out this year.
Okay.
Now, I can't say, because I haven't played and I haven't gotten the DLC, I don't know if the DLC was sold separately or if it was included, but I know that there's been problems with the DLC being quality-wise, like not very good.
Nuka World, the one that just
that's
came
the
out,
one that
or?
just came out. Yeah, and evidently that's the reviews I've seen. It's like it's okay, and so that makes it above the previous 3 DLCs that have come out since Fallout 4 release, but that they were all kind of just eh.
Yeah.
And when you have games like Borderlands 2, where the DLC is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just I agree that yes, looking at it from that perspective, the $60 price point on No Man's Sky could fit, but still,
with most DLC, it seems to be standard that they roll 4 big things out for a season pass or something like that. So why not just have those things created and ready to go, and then just buy the whole fucking game at point of sale for $100? Because that's where they're at. Like, it just seems it's ridiculous to and then sometimes you don't get the full game with all of the DLC unless you buy a specific version of the game and you pre-order the game.
Yeah.
So it's just
don't forget pre-orders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's an unbelievable situation that the whole gaming community has gone in. So it's just annoying when you hear somebody complain about a game that has no DLC that they paid $60 for and they're mad about it. Or it's like, you have no idea.
I was gonna say, I've been playing a lot of like PlayStation and retro games lately where you unlock stuff, and those were the days.
You missed that, right? Having to complete a thing to get a thing.
Yeah,
like that would be nice to like. Oh, if you beat this level, you get this character.
Instead of microtransactions and
because they just want to siphon every dollar they can from you.
Yeah.
God damn it, I do it.
Well, Jordan, one of the things with No Man's Sky is that it's a game that's pretty much about exploration. You start on a planet, you can explore that planet, you can get in your ship and immediately leave the planet as soon as you get your ship ready to leave, and then you can explore other places. But a lot of people evidently didn't have the expectation that it was just going to be an exploration game. So, yeah. I don't know, I guess I thought it was going to be a Call of Duty. Shoot things in space. Brr.
Yeah, that's what they were hoping for, even though they could just play Call of Duty.
No Man's Sky Call of Duty edition.
No Man's Duty.
Well, you had... I'm sorry, go on.
No. What were you going to say?
He made a poop joke.
No, well, you had mentioned about there being, like, survival aspects in it.
Yes.
So, like, maybe people were just thinking, like, oh, well, the survival will be aliens, and it'll be like Dead Space.
Yeah.
More action-oriented.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because the E3 video, it wasn't action-packed, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So do you think it was just people's expectations just kind of fucked everyone else's expectations in a way?
Maybe. I have a feeling that Sony. I mean, I tried to look at all the videos that came out for it because I was just leading up to it. I was just such a rabid fanboy, for lack of a better term for it. But it's possible that Sony had some trailers out there that made it look like it was going to be something different. I haven't seen them, and so I don't really know where the expectation came that it was going to be either this big action game or that it was going to be this big survival thriller. I don't know.
12-year-olds on the internet.
Well, no,
right.
This is not a AAA game, right? Ish. It's still technically it's an indie.
Hello
game,
Games.
right?
Hello
Or an indie
Games is a
company?
small studio. I wouldn't say they're indie. They're kind of in between because they've had a couple games out. I think they're called Joe Dynamite or something like that. But,
something like that.
Yeah, but
I have no idea what the distinction is.
But they're a small studio of like
I'm a super
maybe
casual gamer. I have no idea.
fair enough.
Watch the Did You Know Gaming.
They're a studio of maybe a dozen people. So it's a super ambitious idea for a game and a high concept game for such a small studio. But
And how long did it take them to do it? Just generally,
Been going on.
I think
for
it got
3
announced in
years.
2013.
okay.
So it's been 3 years in the pipeline.
That's not. I mean, considering what
That's
it takes,
not bad.
considering what it takes other games and what they've put into this.
But then they did have that 2 month
Yeah.
2 month delay where there were people with death threats and so forth because of it. But I kind of wish that they had maybe delayed it a little bit more just to get all the rough shit.
I know that usually PC gets more bugs than the console versions do.
Arkham
anyway.
Knight.
Arkham Knight.
Oh,
on
Arkham
PC.
Knight.
Unplayable, apparently.
Yeah. They gave you a full refund and said, please stop playing it because we're not going to fix it.
Yeah. No, when you get to the part where it's the Arkham Knight revealed it's Barbara Gordon.
They really fucked it.
Yeah. They really it's like, wait, she was Oracle.
Yeah, that was weird.
That makes no sense. Jason Todd only makes less sense. That's
Oh, God, the lazy writing of Arkham Knight.
So, if we could maybe turn this conversation.
Oh, God, dude, don't do it.
Am I going to say
it? It's just the expectations and where everybody got with No Man's Sky was just so strange.
Oh, damn it.
It was topsy-turvy?
These things, they were strange.
So, since we don't have a visual medium, I have to describe that right now I'm rubbing my temples and my face is on fire because these idiots are ruining my life with their talking. So we're going to talk about Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, the Netflix exclusive.
Couldn't you like ease into it a little bit?
Yeah. It's very
You called what you did easing?
It was a bit ham-handed.
You're really just turning his whole world
That
upside
was
down.
just the tip if you use like a pumpkin, okay? Anyway, so
just for a moment, just to see how it feels.
Jesus
Not good. Brian didn't like it.
Get it out of there.
So we've all seen it.
Yes.
Now, I've of everyone here, I've seen it the least recently because I watched it almost immediately. So if
I have seen it the most recently.
The most recently.
I think me and you both
It.
at the same time.
So.
Sorry. Andrew and I, we watched it concurrently. Sorry.
You finished at the same time?
Let's not leave Andrew out.
Nice. You guys finished at the same time. That's beautiful.
I wasn't trying to be selfish. Otherwise, it's an us experience, not a me experience.
That's very thoughtful.
Two become one, you see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Two become one.
So I thoroughly enjoyed the entire thing. So I don't know if you guys want to run through some of your favorite things about it, some of your least favorite things about it.
I just want to say
we don't want to go through it episode by episode.
No.
Because I can't even necessarily remember what happened in each. I'll just say that the first episode, by the time it was over, I was ready. Like, I loved the rest of the series, but I feel like the first episode could have lived by itself as a thing, and
absolutely.
I would have been totally satisfied.
It was brilliant. Absolutely.
I think about halfway in, I leaned over to my girlfriend and was basically like, this show is already it's going to be one of those shows that everyone's going to talk about. I mean, the first episode alone felt, like you said, like a complete story.
Thought. It was a complete thought.
And then by
even though it was kind of open-ended at the end, you were still like, I got everything I wanted and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Do you have so everybody like
I think what Netflix did was amazing. They did basically a cautionary tale about what happens when we let a girl use her brain.
Yeah.
We should definitely not be doing that.
Definitely.
No, sorry.
They were
Jesus Christ.
They were really good at hiding the symbolism, but I think Stranger Things overall is what happens when women run the world.
I mean, I guess we are on the internet, so I guess it's okay. We're expected to say things.
No, before I get into anything else,
hashtag MRA for this.
Jordan, what were your thoughts?
I was hooked the moment that Hop cut into Will's body and found stuffing, and I was like, I sat up on my couch and I go, what the fuck?
By the way, this is going to be very spoilerific.
Everybody's already watched.
We're not bringing out the reggae horn again ever.
Really?
So
maybe in the 50th episode.
So Jordan, for you, the Hop cutting into the fake body of Will was the ultimate what the fuck of the entire thing.
For me, yes.
Okay.
Wow.
What was your ultimate what the fuck, Andrew?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Give me a second on that one. I'm trying to. Brian,
the first moment in your head that you go, Jesus.
Boy, because
the very beginning, almost. The second, I feel like when they go into whatever room where the upside down where the portal was created, and the way the portal was done, it's just this pulsing black mass,
and it was living.
Yeah, and I'm like,
a pulsing black vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much on the wall.
Pretty much, and
more symbolism.
Yeah, okay, but I don't know. That just it.
The woman is the cancer of the
earth. We're entirely joking about that,
of course,
but
we
also not.
So this is my last podcast. You can follow me on the Instagrams and
we are kidding. Of course.
So the wall portal was the
wall
was
badge.
The wall badge was your what the fuck. So what was?
Well, see, I don't normally like horror stuff. I don't go out of my way to watch horror films or anything. And while this is definitely cross-genre, there's definitely horror undertones to it.
Oh, for sure.
Not even undertones, just overtones. Yeah.
Barb.
Yeah. Well,
that
Barb.
whole scene was
absolutely
incredibly painful to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm affected by like the horror tropes, the jump outs and the creepy stuff. Like so, pretty much from the episode 1 where Will is about to take the Mirkwood Pass, and you just see the Demogorgon or whatever the monster in the road, and it's just like real quick. There it is. There's fog behind it, and it's like fuck, and so from that point, that was the what the fuck moment for me. But honestly, it got me right from just the first. Yeah. Just from the first few, just from it starting of how good it was, I could just relate its tone, what it was going for, it just the stakes, that were at stake, everything was just relayed right off the bat, and I was hooked. Now I should say I wasn't planning on watching it anytime soon because of my living situation and so forth. Long story, but I was going to wait, probably until I had my own place to be able to really enjoy it. But once I knew that all you guys had watched it or were watching it, I was like, okay, I got to get on this, and I finished it within 2 days. I wanted to split it up 4 episodes and 4 episodes. I ended up doing 6.5 episodes and 1.5 episodes because I could not. Sorry, 5.5 and 2.5 because I could not stop.
Yeah,
I had to daisy chain them.
When we watched it, we did 2 episodes. 3 days passed, and we did the rest of them. Yeah. I liked everything in it. Like it hit all of the notes that I wanted from it, and like I had seen some people complain about the teenage kind of stuff in it.
That's my complaint.
But that felt.
So I understand the complaint for that because it did get kind of overwhelming. Like it was a lot, but I felt like it was the one thing that made it human throughout. Like the kids' relationships and the
teenager
and the teenage relationship thing was the thing that made it like human because you related to it at least. Because there's a crazy lotus monster or something.
I think they called him Petal Face.
Yeah, the Petal. Yeah,
they called him Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the creators. Yeah. The actual monster.
The
Petal Face. Yeah.
Like
So.
Oh no, it's 11. I'm sorry. Wait. No, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
So there's a. I can't think of the most recent episode I watched was the last one, obviously. Uh-huh. So the thing that I keep thinking of is when Will finally is back and he goes to his bathroom and he coughs and
rubs one out,
and there's a mucus leech
slug
or something, yeah. And then he looks up and he's in
the upside
down, and then he coughs again and he is back, and I was like, that is going to have such huge, awesome ramifications for the next season that he's able to switch between the two.
Poor Will.
Oh yeah, I hope he doesn't have seasonal allergies.
And poor Barb.
He's screwed.
Yeah, God damn it. I definitely understand the criticism of the teenage, the high school, literally the high school shit.
Yeah.
I understand why it's in there. I just would have liked a little less.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it being in there. I have no problem with but it got too much at a certain point.
Her boyfriend, the
Ish,
the '80s kid with the cool hair,
John Ralphio's father.
Steve?
Yeah. He looks dead like my cousin Dominic. Almost spitting image. I couldn't get over it.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I just realized. Wow.
Jordan has seen my cousin Dominic. He knows for sure that is a real life statement. It's unbelievable. I kept sending him pictures from my TV, going, "Why are you on TV and you didn't tell me?" But so tropes wise, I loved all of the. I mean, basically the whole thing was tropes.
Yeah,
but that's why I was okay with the high school thing.
Right. Well,
it felt like an '80s high school.
What they did was they made a story and built it with the tropes.
Yeah.
They told their own original story by taking pieces of things and molding them together into their own image. So I really loved all of the '80s stuff, like Clueless Dad.
Right.
government agency,
Right.
The wings,
the
feathered hair.
the feathered hair,
Right.
like just dude, all of that. She had a trapper keeper.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's because that was all in the 80s. But I think, you know, you're talking about the tropes. Like, at a certain point, like, some of the stuff became a little predictable.
Yeah.
Like, from in the first episode, Benny dying. Like, I was like, that seems super obvious right up there. That this guy's dead. You know, like, there's no way that he lives.
But the way that they did it,
I mean, agreed.
Also, that added to like the horror, like the thriller aspect of it with the government.
I'm talking about like complaints that do not ruin this for me at all.
Okay.
I loved Stranger Things, and I can't wait for season 2. I will watch it again at some point soon. Go through the series. I'm just talking about stuff that, after watching, I was just like, you know, I wish they hadn't done that.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, got a little off topic for a second. Well, okay.
Do you have can you think of a? They usually do this in TV and stuff. Can you think of a meets concept for it? So like Stranger Things is this meets this.
Twilight Zone meets every 80s The Thing, the 1980 I believe it was Thing. Kurt Russell and
well, they reference the Thing directly as they're watching.
I think they're watching the Thing. Yeah, hang a lampshade right on that.
Yeah. Can you think of a meets?
I mean, the obvious one is E.T.
Mm-hmm.
It's E.T. I guess it's E.T. meets Friday. Not Friday the 13th, but Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan, what's yours?
Mine would be the Goonies.
It did have a Goonie-ish feel.
Nightmare on Elm Street, honestly.
Okay, so mine was Super 8 meets the Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did a lot of that.
With a sprinkling of Stand By Me.
Super 8, though, also
was
just a trope movie.
But well, the reason I included
an homage.
Yeah, the reason I said Super 8 instead of E.T. was the heavy-handedness of the government aspect. And all that
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I definitely remember thinking a couple times, like, oh yeah, this harkens back to Super 8, you know, which I've seen once and probably never see again. Yeah. So it's good that I'm seeing this again.
And especially the kids that are friends as opposed to the brother sister kind of stuff.
Right.
Speaking of the kids, they were probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
Of the
absolutely.
whole thing, and not only were they all great actors, but all the chemistry between all of them, and just there's. Because it was another 80s trope. These nerdy kids, and they're going to go fight the big monster, and we're going to make the one kid, the bully, piss his pants, and like
Dude, that was awesome.
and then shatter his arm.
Just fucking amazing.
I mean, they were my favorite part.
I knew, like, when that happened, I knew she was going to stop him. I did not know she was going to make him piss his pants.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was
And can we just talk about how great a fucking character 11 is? Like,
100%.
goddamn it.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Oh, she was fantastic.
That kid was awesome.
And what a great monster she also is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. She is the monster.
Yeah, like Jordan, are you with that? Are you on that as well? That that she's the monster?
I think they're two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
You know, I think one can't exist without the other.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying when I say she's the monster. But yeah,
because like if she were to die, the monster would also die. So if she goes to the upside down and stays there, the monster will then theoretically stay there as well. I would think.
So speaking of the upside down, what the hell do you think it is? Because it was clear that at some point it's not just something happened because there were cars and some signs of civilization. Now, do you think it was maybe 11 could have caused something like that, or do you think it was a virus?
So are you saying you think that it's like an alternate future that they were in?
Not so much a future, but just what do you think the upside down is?
The way I interpret it is that it's the giant whole man meddling with powers it doesn't understand thing. That when they got 11 to access her powers to be able to hear what a man is saying in Moscow from fucking, was it Indiana?
Yeah.
Yeah. That once she accessed that part of her brain, or however you want to call it, or accessed that power, that the Upside Down was created at that point. That the monster was created at that point. That's my interpretation. That her powers coming together like that made the Upside Down and the monster manifested. Yes.
So it's not so much something happened; it's just literally a dark reality.
Yeah.
Mirrored of our own.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, I feel like the teacher literally explains it as such, even though he doesn't necessarily know what's going on. He was trope cool teacher with the nerdy kids
and the mustache
and the hot Asian girlfriend
and he.
I mean, that's the dream, Rob. Come on, that's the dream.
Asians.
Remember when he had the piece of paper and he was explaining the universe? I don't necessarily remember the words he said, but everything that he,
the acrobat.
Everything that he said was pretty much verbatim what we saw later on. So I feel like that his explanation for it is what it was.
Jordan, what were you going to say?
I feel like the Upside Down was also slightly inspired by Silent Hill.
I caught a vibe of that too.
I think so too. And I think the creators actually said that they were going for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of a vibe.
I love. I love the fact that was like kind of in there.
Silent Hill.
I love Silent Hill, and I love those video games.
They were mindfucks. Absolutely.
Silent Hills, Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Junji Ito. Rest in peace. Norman Reedus, you're great too. I love all you guys. Rest in peace, P2.
I guess when I look at 11, it seems to me almost like she's like the Dark Phoenix. That her powers, they're not to be used by humans. You know, that
right.
Those experiments opened up something that should not be,
right.
And that she should not be, and that in doing so, that she's created that reality. So that, again, that's just
almost Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
So when I don't remember the character names at all.
Which guy?
When cute older sister goes into
Nancy.
Nancy. Okay.
I was going to say Katie.
When Nancy goes into, she gets sucked into the Upside Down, and then
hot,
creepy older brother,
Jonathan,
the tortured art student.
Yeah, trope. When tortured art student Jonathan goes into the tree to follow her into the Upside Down, and they're walking just through that forest in the reverse, basically.
Yeah.
It looks like a negative, essentially.
It does.
Of what
a negative with
earlier.
A fuckload of creepy ass vines crawling up everything,
and also an egg.
Yeah. What the fuck is the egg?
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
Because the first time 11 sees the monster or herself, whatever you want to go, it's eating that egg.
Oh, really?
And it's eating the egg when Nancy first goes in and sees the monster. It's eating the egg, and then eventually Hopper and Joyce in the last episode, he sees the egg.
And
I don't know.
Open,
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's sort of an alien situation at that point.
He wasn't eating the egg. What if it was like coughing up the egg, kind of like Will coughing up the...
Is that why 11 likes Eggos?
Oh...
And there it is, folks.
End of podcast.
We had a good run. Send all your hate mail.
God damn it.
Tweet us your hate mail, please. Tweet us anything.
Hate mail in 140 characters or less, please. Well, that's interesting. So...
The Ego theory? All right.
Rob, you need to Lego that theory. Okay?
No! It got worse. It couldn't get worse and it got worse.
Do you think her favorite dinosaur is a Stegosaurus?
Does she know that dinosaurs exist? She was in a government facility for a very long time.
And she's psychic. She probably knows everything about everything.
So what were you going to say? You said that's interesting.
I don't fucking know anymore.
So Jordan was saying that what if the monster was extruding or I guess vomiting up the egg
instead of eating it.
Instead of eating it. I don't know.
Well, that I feel like
I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I will watch it again.
Yeah, me too. That almost feels like it gives some kind of credit to the whole something happened theory. Like maybe the Demogorgon was once a human that was altered by whatever. Because when they find Will and they pull that weird tentacle thing out of his throat.
Oh god.
Hot.
that
Dude,
maybe
it was. They were pulling for a very long time.
That's my first thought. I was like, this is really in there, isn't it?
If you've not seen the X-Files movie, the first X-Files movie, Fight the Future, there's a scene where they pull something out of Dana Scully's, Gillian Anderson's throat, and it goes on for fucking ever. And I remember in the theater just going like, please make it stop. Please just find the end of it now.
It even freaks me out in The Matrix. When
Yeah.
Neo first wakes up and he's like,
Yep.
and pulls the whole thing in.
Yep.
Yeah. Stuff, I guess pulling stuff out of... Hang on.
So you're alright with stuff going in the throat, but
Yes.
not coming out. Okay.
Your words, not mine.
And it's out there. So
Good thing this isn't
immortalized.
going to be on the internet.
So they were able to get Wills, and that's just because he had just recently been captured by the monster.
Demogorgon.
But when we see Barb in the same room,
She's already dead.
she is
Well,
full of that vine.
something when Eleven sees her, something's coming out of her mouth.
It was one of the slugs.
Yeah. So
It was a bigger slug.
So now, do you think that is the Demogorgon its own? Is that how it procreates? Is it kind of like its own version of a face hugger?
But is it even procreating?
I don't know.
or is
it's
it
not-
just coughing slugs?
It's not creating more Demogorgons.
We don't know that yet.
Well, that's what
Well,
I
we know.
initially thought the egg
Yeah.
was.
Also, when Nancy is in the Upside Down, was there a different monster chasing her?
No.
Because it looked a little beefier. Or it was...
I initially thought there were two at that
Yeah?
point
Really?
because I was so fucking
Because
lost.
it just looked a little
Well,
bigger than
that's
the
before we
Demogorgon.
knew that it could just go
Right.
between realities like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
I was
Nah.
like, I thought there were two because there was the egg, and then she was being chased by something, and then at Will's house something was happening at the same moment.
that's possible.
Yeah.
I feel like we were
By the end of it,
like that there was just the
right.
one.
By
Yeah.
the end of it, I will say I was concluded.
But
that
no,
there
when
were
when I saw the egg too, I was like, oh fuck, how many are there now? You know,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
And I think that's what they wanted.
yeah,
It went from an alien to an aliens kind of thing.
yeah. So
It's not an alien.
how about
Aliens.
how did you like the
of Earth?
Aliens.
the like final fight scene, essentially like the boss fight in the house when they were trying to
Oh yeah, that was
fucking-
intense.
Motherfucking Steve
Steve, man.
comes.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is
When
crazy.
he comes in and he's got the nail bed and he's like fucking spinning it and shit and taking it. That was like,
Steve.
Oh my
I kept going Dominic, but that's it.
but oh man, just like he was whooping that thing's ass with a nail bat, and that's the coolest thing you
and
can
it
whoop
was like
someone's ass
and it
with.
was like braying.
Yeah. It was like, Steve, really?
Can we also talk about how awesome Hopper is?
Hopper, dude.
Fucking
He was my
at the very beginning. I was like, you know, you're kind of
you temper it.
kept off
Yeah.
keel. Like, you know, am I taking this guy as the douchebag or am I
Yeah.
taking him as a good guy? And he's both, you know. But
he's both, but he's
goddamn,
fantastic.
what a badass character.
Yeah, and then he
I was very concerned when he made it to the entrance of the Upside Down in the facility, and then you saw like the camera from something's perspective staring at him,
yeah.
and then
Oh yeah,
and then the guys in the suit, the hazmat suits, came at him.
right.
So I was like, oh shit! Like,
Yeah.
And then it cuts the intro. That was like the one episode where it was like 8 minutes until the actual intro of the show
Right.
kicked on.
Oh well, dude. I'm glad you brought up the intro because that's another thing from that show that was just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's so simple, but
It's
that's
perfect.
the beauty
The
of it.
title card, the music, it was just
absolutely perfect.
yeah.
It is.
In
It
every
felt like
way.
you just punched in a VHS tape.
Yeah, I wish they had like the tracking.
The tracking,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe they'll release a special edition.
And for anyone who does not know, it has been officially announced season 2. I think it was greatly rumored within like a couple weeks of it coming out that there was going to be a season 2, but Netflix absolutely did come out and say that there's going to be a season 2. They've got a trailer, a teaser for it that's basically the Stranger Things title card that comes together to form the words season 2, and each each episode's title. They've already got the titles of the episodes they're showing with the video. It's so great.
And from what I understand, it takes place a year later in 1984.
Yep, fall of 1984 instead of winter of '83. Yeah. So it's just about a year. But I love that there's one called the Pollywog.
The Pollywog. That just sounds like such an '80s horror monster, doesn't it?
Absolutely does. It's something is going to haunt my nightmares from this next season. And I'm both looking forward to it and dreading it.
Yeah.
So the episode titles in order are "The Boy Who Came Back to Life."
Mm-hmm. Actually, I thought there wasn't. I thought it was
Mad
Max, wasn't it?
Mad Max was the first thing. I guess they were out of order.
They're out of order.
I'm on /film.com and it's got a list of the titles. So "The Boy Who Came Back to Life," "The Pumpkin Patch," "The Palace," "The Storm." I gotta load the next page. The Pollywog,
there we go.
The Secret Cabin, The Brain, The Lost Brother,
and then there was one,
and there was a Mad Max in there, but they don't.
Oh, Mad Max is episode 1.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty sure
is the first one.
now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that's all fascinating, and
for me out of all of those titles, the Pumpkin Patch is the one that I am dying to know what the fuck happens there.
Well, it's clearly going to talk about the dance from the '80s,
right?
No.
Well, for me,
sorry, that's the Cabbage Patch. I'm sorry.
So it's going to be Will and his best friend. They're going to be in the Pumpkin Patch, and they're going to just be waiting for the Great Pumpkin.
You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Fine.
What I think is very interesting about all of that is there are 9 episodes as opposed to season 1's 8.
Yeah.
So we're getting an extra hour or whatever,
or maybe more than an extra hour,
or
maybe
more.
2 hours.
I wish Netflix original shows would just kind of open that up because they don't really have a constraint on time. It's just 2 huge episodes. You know what I mean?
This one's got to be 7 hours long.
Fuck it.
Whatever. Don't go to work today.
I feel like they do that probably because of the unions.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
pay
I can't say for certain, but that would be my.
It's probably pay and things like that. That's fair.
Most hour-long TV shows are actually 44 minutes of content. With Netflix, we get 51, 52 minutes of content, so I'm fucking fine.
Yeah, there were a few episodes in the first season that varied in time. There was like a 44 and then a 52. And so I mean, it's all good either way because every second of it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there any other?
I'm very excited about the Secret Cabin for season 2.
Okay.
That's probably my. I'm just interested to know what the titles and how they relate. Because even if you look back at season 1, every episode was titled like Chapter 1, Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm. What episode I think I'm looking forward to most? The Pollywog.
Yeah.
What the hell is the Pollywog?
Andrew and I both melding into each other with Stranger Things. We're both looking forward to.
We were very
the Pollywog.
We're both in tune with each other's
menstrual cycles.
Yes.
What?
Huh?
And then a mutter.
Just so season 2 obviously has all the hype in the world. So I hope that I mean, and the coolest thing about it is reading stuff about these kids online. They're super friendly with people that like the show.
Oh yeah,
and they're like the nicest kids on the planet. Which
was it
makes
the kid
it
who plays Dustin?
Yeah,
he's got some great posts.
And apparently he's a really good singer.
Oh wow!
Apparently he has an unbelievable voice.
He was on Les Miserables. I heard that.
He has an unbelievable voice. There's videos of him like singing it. I haven't watched any of them because I don't really.
I think my
delve
favorite
into that kind of stuff, but
is I remember seeing the very I think the now iconic alphabet with the lights hanging over it. Each of the kids had one, and I think it was like the kid that played Mike said like thank you, and then Dustin said something along those lines, and the kid played Lucas. It said Chocolate Daddy. He wrote Chocolate Daddy on there.
Can I just say, like, having been one of the last people in this group to have watched it, seeing the bombardment of social media with that kind of stuff. Like, I saw the memes with the alphabet with the lights. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this fucking show? And then I see the shirt where it's like their Peanuts characters on their bikes, and the van is flying over them. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the show? So I'm super glad I did watch it.
My personal favorite shirt is one I just showed you guys, where it's the Gorilla's Demon Days.
Yeah.
But it's Demogorgon Days, and Will is upside down.
It's so great.
Yeah.
So great.
Could we also talk about how great Winona Ryder was?
Oh,
Yeah.
she was fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I needed Winona Ryder crying into a burned out telephone, just trying to smoke a cigarette frantically until I got it. I'm like, dude, that was I did not expect to give a shit about her in the show.
Well, that's because reality bites.
And I'm bad.
When the second phone burned out, I was just so morose for her. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh man,
And then
come on!"
having to go to her job, having not worked for how long, and
month
just
or
keep
a week.
getting advances, and just looking at her boss like, "Give me this shit."
And a pack of smokes. Yeah, that was
Then
my
she
favorite
started
part.
like up doing stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, in the refrigerator, like.
Give me the whole fucking store.
I'm robbing you now.
She was great, and just all the stuff in Will's house is probably some of my favorite stuff that happened, because like especially
her freaking out over the ball of light,
Yeah.
crying was like gut wrenching.
Oh,
dude,
God.
how about when his album just started playing and all the lights in his room turned
so
on,
fucking creepy.
Yeah.
and then she goes into that room and the wall just starts to grow.
Did not see that coming, and it
And then-
freaked me right the fuck out.
Dude, and we were watching it. I think it was like a Wednesday night, and we just like powered through all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just like, gotta go.
There's no other choice.
No.
You have to.
We definitely stayed up till about 2, and I had work at 7. So
Worth it.
Oh,
It's-
totally.
It's a fascinating thing, and it's only really Netflix that's doing it. I mean, of course, there's Amazon Prime and or Amazon TV, whatever the hell they call it, and CBS is going to have their Star Trek online only streaming. But Netflix has got this where same thing with Daredevil season 1 and 2, same thing with Jessica Jones. I had to power through those because it was just too good not to do it.
There's nothing. I feel like there's nothing left out, because also House of Cards is that way.
Got to get into that. Yeah.
I haven't seen that either, but it's great.
We'll do that concurrently, friend. Friend of friends. We'll watch House of Cards.
Concur.
Okay.
All right, great. Well, now we can.
You've ruined it.
But yeah, it's the same thing with House of Cards, where by the end of the episode, as soon as the end credits start, it's an impulsive. All right, let's watch the next one because you have to. And it's a lot like if it were possible with Game of Thrones to do, it would be something that I would absolutely binge the shit out of.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that, like, the Game of Thrones seasons that I've watched. I'm glad I was able to watch them episode after episode, because that's another show. It was the same thing. Now it's it's not Netflix or HBO, but Breaking Bad. I know you didn't get into it, but when I got into Breaking Bad, I got through the entire series in about a week's time because it was too good not to. Yeah.
Oh man.
When I first started watching Breaking Bad, the first 2 seasons were out, and season 3 was close to being ended. So I binged through the first 2 seasons and then downloaded all of season 3 that they were currently on and binged that and did not know what to do with myself.
I can imagine that would have been rough. The cliffhangers on some of those, not even just the end of the seasons, but some of the half-season cliffhangers were just goddamn. I can't imagine.
I did a 13-hour marathon one night.
Breaking Bad? Good lord.
Yeah, I was like, oh well, whatever. One more. It's 8 o'clock. We're fine. And it was like 6 in the morning. Oh,
and
well,
it started in. You started at the 4th of July. It's Christmas now.
I guess I have to go to work at some point.
This beard came out of nowhere.
So
yeah, so
basically Netflix is killing it.
Yeah, Netflix is definitely killing it. Looking forward to obviously Defenders, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones season 2, Daredevil season 3. Yeah, it's gonna be good times.
Defenders again.
Luke Cage is on the horizon.
Well, when is that? It's
September 30th, I believe.
The 29th.
That's more than on the horizon.
Yeah,
that is
imminent.
That is the exit sign is right here in front of us, and there's the off ramp. It's not on the horizon.
That is a future podcast. Is what that is.
Whoa!
Hold the front door.
We're not doing podcasts anymore. Well, I'm being motioned by our stage manager that we're going to. He's calling it a jet now. Anyway, we've reached that time.
Get the double dong.
Okay, I'm going to get the double dong, but first, we've reached that time in the podcast again where I must ask the all-important question: who would win?
Ooh, I've got a good one.
And Jordan, take it away.
Okay, so Predator versus Kevin McAllister. And Kevin has 4 hours time, and it's on his hometown.
So you're saying Predator versus Kevin McAllister, and Kevin has 4 hours prep time,
and he's in Kevin McAllister's own house.
And it is in Kevin McAllister home.
Yeah,
he's in his own home in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is it snowing? Is it dead of winter in Chicago? That's important.
It could be,
because then he could hide in the snow.
He would have to. He would have to be armed with the BB gun for Predator to want to hunt him.
Well, we know this kid's a little fucking killing machine.
Well, he's absolutely a sociopath.
Well, he puts on the video of the killing.
True.
You filthy animal.
You filthy animal.
Yeah. So Brian, who would win?
Wait, hold on 1 second. Jordan, please tell me that that's not the amazing who would win that you said you had.
Oh, it totally is.
God damn it. All right.
That's what we're ending it on, too.
All right. Predator guts him like a sturgeon.
He does. So you're saying Predator uses the arm blade? He's not going to use
Absolutely
the power gun?
no. He's not going to fucking.
Okay.
He's not going to put the little triangular sights on him. No, he's going to just walk right over the marbles. He's not going to trip. He's going to take the fucking cane to the face. He's going to bat it away, and he's going to gut Kevin McAllister.
Right,
it will be a bloodbath.
Andrew, who would win?
All I'm saying, dead of winter in Chicago. He's hiding outside. Predator can't see him. He's got heat vision.
God damn it.
He's covered in paint, so he's not camo anymore.
Right.
And then we get the all-important Kevin McAllister in the snow looking up and saying, "You are one ugly motherfucker." And then he shoots him with a BB gun or drops a fucking brick on his face. And then the Predator guts him like a surgeon.
Okay.
So yeah, Predator. Predator.
Jordan, why don't you...
6 times out of 10.
Jordan, why don't you give your opinion since Rob seems...
6 out of... Andrew's giving it... So if we have Predator versus Kevin McAllister 10 times, Andrew's saying 6 of those times Predator wins.
So Jordan...
Because it's just that way.
What do you think?
No, I was straight up Predator all the way.
Okay. Well, that's
good.
good.
I saw people on Facebook talking about that as if it was like Kevin McAllister stood a chance, and I just
Jesus Christ.
I can't wrap my brain around that actually being a thing.
All right, well, let me help you.
Oh God!
Because everybody has taken
the troll is in.
Everybody has.
He's awoken from his slumber underneath the bridge.
Well, somebody used a power that they shouldn't have, so now this has been created.
In the wall vagina.
In the wall vagina.
The wall vagina.
The wall vagina.
Wall vagina. Hashtag wall vagina. Putting that on Twitter right now, and we're writing it down, and that's how you'll find us
at Wall China.
So you're saying Kevin McAllister in the dead of winter in Chicago has 4 hours prep time for the Predator? Okay, having just recently watched the original Predator, and Home Alone being one of my favorite Halloween or holiday
yeah.
Christmas. Films of all time, both Home Alone and Home Alone 2, the rest of them don't exist in my headcanon.
Up high.
I will just say that Kevin McAllister fought off 2 lifelong criminals 2 separate times in 2 different cities. Okay? He held them at bay long enough to not die. He was able to gum up the only gun that they had. He used the was it paint that was in his pocket when he pulled the gun out? He couldn't use it anymore. And not only that, just the way Predator kind of plays with them before he kills them. Kevin McAllister was kind of a sociopath in that he didn't go in for the kill. He just wanted to cat and mouse with them a lot of bit.
A lot of bit.
A lot of bit. So I'm just saying that there's a chance, and if they ran the fight 10 times, like Andrew said, I would say Kevin might win 5 of them. Paint cans are heavy, and they could crush Predator's skull. What if he's not wearing his helmet anymore?
At least chip one of his 8,000 teeth.
Right. All Kevin has to do is kind of play keep away, and he's very capable.
Yeah.
So Andrew,
Yes.
you have a who would win?
Okay. Let me think. Who would win? How about Jordan?
Me versus who?
That's what I thought too.
How about, let's go, I believe we spoke about this one point. Superman versus the Silver Surfer. And take it, Jordan.
Oh, God.
And
My gut instinct says Superman.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I mean,
Sold.
yeah, right.
Well, I'll frame it for you a little bit as we did once when we discussed this briefly another time.
That we will never discuss.
That we never happened. So the fight is taking place just outside of Earth's atmosphere. Silver Surfer has brought he's searching for a planet to bring Galactus to eat, and Superman, as the protector of Earth, has left Earth's surface and out of Earth's atmosphere to protect him. So Superman is in full reign of the sun of our solar system,
our Earth's yellow sun,
and
soul, if you will,
and Silver Surfer, and he fight in space. So does that help frame it a little bit better for you?
Superman all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
Direct sunlight.
Yeah, well, the direct sunlight obviously helps, but I don't know enough of what Silver Surfer's powers are.
he's not magic, and he's not Kryptonian.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
Well, do you think he could
would you like
absorb?
would you describe him as like celestial?
I mean,
Almost?
He's a cosmic level character in
he's
Marvel.
got powers,
He's
but
got the power cosmic.
okay, but he can't break
I mean,
reality.
he's got that surfboard.
And a surfboard.
Okay. Norrin Rad has a surfboard. That's fantastic. Surf
Now
City,
we're gonna get flagged
USA.
again.
But even though he's got the power cosmic, that it's not reality breaking. It's not magic. Like, he can't just do whatever the fuck he wants. And people who are magic can absolutely fuck up Superman's day. But if you're not magic and you're not Kryptonian, you can't. Like, there's just...
Okay.
You could take him to a limit, but I feel like Superman wins that fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's dragging that son of a bitch right into the sun.
But would the sun kill Silver Surfer if he was thrown into it?
That I don't know, but I feel like Superman's power trumps Norrin Rad's power.
Okay.
That just he beat the shit out of him, at least, you know.
Yeah. Break his bones.
Break his silver bones. And his silver surfboard.
Turn that motherfucker gold.
Turn that motherfucker red.
If Superman just took the surfboard and broke it over his knee.
Not here.
Oh,
Not in this solar system,
not
buddy.
our solar system.
You kids showing up with your surfboards and your
Superman's like, get off my lawn.
your
Snap.
your galactic wood paneled.
What about you guys? What do you think?
I think it's Superman. Yeah.
I would have to say, I guess I'm going to do 6 out of 10 Superman.
That's Andrew's
Well,
go-to.
we're talking.
He doesn't go one way or the
Right.
other
Yeah.
too hard on one
We're
character.
talking current run, not New 52, not pre-Crisis Silver Age Superman, because then it would be a shit show, and he would sneeze a galaxy into oblivion, which happened. Thankfully, it's been long dead because of a space plague.
Is that canon or is that
Ugh.
headcanon?
That is
No.
that is literally canon.
Okay.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yeah, fuck Superman. Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, I just by default Batman. I mean Superman.
God damn it! God damn it!
Yeah, I would say
We're gonna do a Batman who would win, and he's not gonna win. I'm telling you right now.
He will. But yeah, so yeah, I would go Superman just by default because I don't know enough about Silver Surfer. But I also feel like in most of these, we always put the stalwart from one company or another versus a random character from the middle of their pack and go, who would win?
Well, wouldn't
the guy that carried this company for 75 years or somebody that Stan Lee thought of one time?
So if the two writers are fighting each other, well, wouldn't Silver Surfer just be able to use his cosmic awareness and just be like, oh, you're weak against magic? Okay, I'm gonna... Red Sun? Alright, fuck you, Superman. But, what about...
And do what? Go get someone who's
magic?
No,
he would just know that information and then get his ass
and
whooped.
Be like, so I'm gonna tell...
Wow, that's really great. As I'm lying in galactic traction.
He's got a silver... He's in like the silver body cast. Fucking he puts him in a bronze bronze body cast. Oh, Jesus. He put him in traction.
Galactic traction.
Galactrin. That was bad.
Hashtag galactic traction.
Okay, you gotta make sure we don't forget that one.
God damn it.
Oh, boy.
And on that
note.
I'm Robert.
I'm Brian.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Jordan, and I'm still stuck in the Upside Down, so...
No!
Come on, guys, hurry up.
Anyway,
right.
thank you for listening to Pop Culture Shock Headcannon Ultimate Edition, Episode 2. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, and thank you for listening for the final time, probably. Yeah.
Thank you for listening. and
Walgina.
Hashtag Walgina. Hashtag Galactic Traction. Yeah, tell us why we're wrong on Twitter, please.
Jordan's in the Upside Down.
Tell us why we're wrong on Twitter or on Facebook.
Twitter.
Complain about everything we say on any of those social medias.
Please.
We're
begging you to do that.
I'm not.
We're also on YouTube.
We're also on the YouTube now. So
that's a great place for positivity.
Yeah, make our YouTube comments awful again.
And this is just completely dissolved into...
I'm begging you to tell me we're wrong. All right. Have a good night or day. Whenever you listen to it, I'm not telling you what to do. All right. And...
Goodbye.
So that's episode 2. Do you guys agree with who we think would win? How about our takes on Stranger Things, the video game industry, or Deathstroke? Who do you want to see play him? Let us know on Facebook at Pop Culture Shock HC, on Twitter at PCS Headcannon. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube now. Individually, you can follow me on Twitter at Yesball, Andrew on Twitter at flavored_red, and now on Instagram at skeleton_city_comics. And also, you guys should totally check out his webcomic. Jordan can be followed on Twitter and Instagram at Alex Shepard with no vowels, and Brian was once followed home by a private investigator. Follow us, like us, tweet us, retweet, share, and subscribe to us. We've got a million ideas for conversations to have, but we want to get engaged with the people who are listening. Let's do it!